I'm Loki,
I'm Tristan,
and this is
pitching
Pitching
the
the Content.
content. So, why don't you tell us a little about yourself, Loki?
Well, I am Loki, the Lokester, Lokathan, Lokathy, Kanye.
I'm Tristan, Tristan Perona. You probably know that because you clicked on this video. So,
We are both aspiring content creators, and so, as aspiring content creators, we thought, for some reason, it'd be funny if we talked about content, and that's why this thing is now existence.
yeah, we were both English majors in college. So, I think that using what little knowledge that could give us, so we could really put to the test literary criticism. And by that, I mean making dick jokes about anime, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I paid so
yeah.
much money for.
So, I myself am personally very invested in mediums such as anime, visual novels, video games, manga, and I dabble a bit in comics and regular TV shows every now and then.
And my repertoire is mostly novels. I read a lot of nonfiction, like psychology books. Novels are great, but I think that uh, video games give you like a way into the narrative and let you be a part of it, which is awesome. And anime, obviously it's still sick. You can't really get Tokyo Ghoul out of a book, right? I
Hmm.
haven't watched Tokyo Ghoul. Why did I say that?
Like,
You can't get
next time
you
question.
can't get Steins Gate out of a book. It was a visual novel. You can't get Attack on Titan. That shit is fun, and it is also just fun to watch. You can't get that in a novel, man.
Mhm.
What's the last book you read? Oh, a bad question.
Hold on, I can see it from here. I need to put on my glasses though.
Oh yeah.
The girl with all the gifts.
Well, what was that about?
Yeah, it was an interesting book. I guess
Mm-hmm.
it was technically a zombie novel, but it definitely took a unique turn, I suppose.
Oh, is that the one about the bus?
No.
Okay. Okay, I probably talked about somebody else about that then, maybe. There was a bus and a crazy guy on the bus, and
Oh, that was also me, but that was a different series.
oh, okay. So, what makes you interested in storytelling? Are you a aspiring writer?
But of course, my dear sir, I aspire to make books of the graphic novel variety. I also hope to eventually expand into storytelling through video games and other mediums as well. And you, my good sir, how would you aspire to be a content or storyteller?
I want to be like just a standard novel writer, like those books that you could probably buy in Barnes and Nobles and stuff like that. I'm really a big fan of like literature fiction, so honestly, like, I think what would be cooler than being an author is actually being an editor. Like, I'd love to work in a publishing house and just like get my hands on books and like help the developmental process and like add in important key concepts that I think that literature could use nowadays. I'd love to be an editor, and I'm trying to pursue a graduate or a master's degree in fucking English. So that's my plan. That's the progress. That's the trajectory of my life right now.
I hear degrees are pretty hot, especially when you get more of them. Today, I will begin with a pitch. I'll be pitching to you the show Kekkai Sensen, or Blood Blockade Battlefront, and its second season, Blood Blockade Battlefront and Beyond.
Is that the one about New York City?
Indeed, it is, or the former New York City to be exact. You follow the story of Leonardo Watch as he starts his life in Hell Salem's Lot, New York City, after a cataclysmic event combined it with the other world or afterworld. I forget exactly which one they called it with. But
Oh, so it's like post-apocalyptic, but instead of like the apocalypse being like a nuke, it's more like hell. Like the world is hell now. Like there's
mm,
demons.
technically, it's a lot.
Okay.
It's more like these things were always there in the shadows, like vampires and all those other stuff. But now, like the worlds have actually fully fused, but only in New York City because they managed to contain it when it broke out.
Oh, okay. Never mind. That is more interesting. I thought it'd be a non-existent reason. Okay, well that's cool. Is it so? If they do they coexist, or what's like the world like?
In New York City, or rather Hale Salem's Lot,
Yeah.
they do coexist. They live day to day. However, because it is a world where, or rather a city where demons and all other sorts of things exist, there's a lot of chaos. I think in the first episode, our hero runs into a runs across a bank robbery chasing a monkey that stole his camera.
Okay. When you walk into a bodega, is there like a demon lady standing behind the counter? Like,
There
oh,
could be.
oh, okay. So that's the kind of world. So they're like not at war all the time.
No.
They're just like two separate like races of people.
Hmm.
Okay. What was the English
So,
translation again?
Blood Blockade Battlefront or Battle, yeah, Battlefront.
That makes it sound a little more wary than.
The reasoning behind that, I believe, is not the main character, but the support characters use techniques based off their blood, I would say.
Oh, okay. So blood's a motif.
Yes.
Okay, I thought like Blood Battlefront makes it sound like it's like Star Wars Battlefront, but like you know.
Nah, like one of them makes a sword out of his blood. There's a guy who makes a trident out of it. Some guy makes like crosses and stuff.
So why do they need to fight if it's at like if you're just chasing a monkey with your camera? Like it doesn't sound like you got to fight on a daily basis.
Well, no, that is not an occasion where one really needs to fight, but one would need to fight against the bank robbery that he runs into, caused by a large demon with missiles that shoot out of its back.
Okay, no wonder you need to be like trained in martial arts. You gotta like if a demon behind you could just like shoot missiles at you, like you gotta be able to protect yourself, I guess. So is that just what like martial arts is for? Is the world like nice enough that they only need self defense?
No, no, definitely not.
Oh.
It's definitely a lot like a thug. It's like if you think about all like the thuggish, mafia-esque New York tales, it's sort of like
Oh.
that, but now there's like demons
Okay.
or
So like, what's the
non-humans to be
what
more specific.
what's the story? What does he need to do, Leo?
The story is it starts off a bit more sporadic, like it's just telling tales of his life in the world,
Okay.
but traces of an overarching plot that throughout the season, the first season rather, you follow him along with the certain characters that he meets.
Okay.
And one of the biggest contradictions between the first season and the second season is how they handle the pacing. Because in the first season, they focus on not a lot of the characters. They put the main focus on Leo, and then the two characters who are seen as like his senior and then his mentor.
Oh, okay.
And those three really get the most development from the main cast, not including like the villains. But in the second season, there's a lot of focus throughout the whole cast, but not really a large overarching plot. There's just a bunch of subplots following each member, and then the final
Um.
plot where we return back to Leo.
Yeah, that's it's really hard to get that done. Like if you like that's kind of sounds like My Hero. Like in My Hero, those first like 5 episodes are like Deku only. I'm pretty sure, right? Like his like
Hmm.
conquest to get getting all for one, and then like second on like all of his classmates. Like I think the person that gets the most character development is like Todoroki in the tournament arc. So like yeah, no, it's cool that they move from one to the bigger ones. Once they get you to like Leo, they move on to the bigger cast and like establish this nice network of characters. I think that's interesting. How many episodes is it?
It's, I believe, 12 episodes for both
Wow, and
seasons.
they put in a cast of character development at like 12 episodes on the. Wow, it's pretty good.
Mhm. Yeah, it was pretty interesting seeing other characters, or rather, seeing Leo's growth,
Mm-hmm.
because his character, I suppose you could say,
Yeah.
is a rather common one where there's just like normal guy thrown into abnormal world, and he survives by relying on his abnormal friends and their abnormal powers.
Ah, okay.
But secretly, he's also abnormal because he's like super noble, a really nice guy, and he does. Oh, that's just what you should do. Yeah, but a lot of people don't do it, and that's why
Yeah.
you're not actually normal. He's one of
Okay.
those kinds of characters.
What does Kekkai do differently then? What made you want to watch it? Or well, I mean, not what made you want to watch it. What made you keep watching it?
It was just super intriguing. Everything about like the city and the way that he went through like the life there, because he has a side job working for as a pizza delivery guy. But in the first episode, you see he gets hired by uh the secret superhuman society that protects people, and that's why they all have the blood powers and everything.
Okay. I, I work at a pizza place. What am I gonna get my invitation to? Come on, hook
Well,
me up.
you have the special eyes that let you see everything.
How's
But
the
yeah,
art? Is it I saw a picture that from a link that you posted. It was pretty like shiny. I don't know how to say it. It's not like KyoAni, I don't think. Who made it?
no, I'm actually not sure which company made it. I never looked it up, but I'd say the character design in the show is pretty great.
Oh, Studio Bones. No wonder the character design's pretty good. The Studio Bones, they did a Trigun, Full Metal
Ooh,
Alchemist, Soul Eater,
oh, I love.
Noragami. They're good. They're
Hmm.
oh, and they're My Hero. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, Studio Bones is pretty good. Yeah, no wonder the art and story is so tight. That's pretty. Oh, do you hear that?
It's big brain time.
That means it's big brain time. That means it's time for me to drop some literary criticism on you. We're gonna start pretty light today. It's the trope of invisible parents. We see invisible parents in so many shows, and as you can imply from the name Invisible Parents, is when the character either has parents and they are never seen, or parents are just never addressed in the story because they don't match the plot. In the big shows like Haruhi Suzumiya, Steins Gate, those two animes, even though everyone clearly has parents, they are never brought into the plot. We don't really see them. Harry Potter kind of like subverts this. Like, his parents, they fucking dead. Hermione's parents, like, they exist. They're just dentists, but we don't ever get to see them. Parenthood is like a very important relationship in everybody's life. I don't think you
Hmm.
probably can't get like a few months of your life without seeing your parents, even if you're like in your 40s. So I think that parenthood is something that needs to be brought up in art just to make it more realistic. I don't know. I think parents are supposed to play a big role in their kids' life, and by not seeing parents inside a piece of art, you're suggesting that they aren't important, which in the book A Separate Piece, it is set in a dorm room. Catcher in the Rye, he runs away from his parents, Walden Caulfield. So parenthood is like anathemic to a story because it's like a secure place and you can't grow in a secure place. You need to leave the comfort zone. So I get it, but it's also less realistic that way.
A lot of stories use the absence of parenthood to show like this is how long this character has been without parents. That's
Yeah.
how long that they've been matured as an adult.
Does Kekkai Sensen have any invisible parents?
Indubitably so. Leonardo is pretty much the youngest member of the cast, with the exception of the twins who come in later on in the plot. In
And
our
let me guess, the twins are comic relief.
No, they aren't actually.
Oh,
Twins
wow.
are the main like moving point. They change it from a gag show to the show with plot.
Oh, the twins? Twins are always like the comic relief, so that's kind of surprising. That's another lampshade. That's good. Wow, I think I might just watch Kekkai Sensen if it's gonna be so like subversive. That's what role does Invisible Parents like do? Does Leo not have parents? I mean, he has a job, right? So
So Leo doesn't actually, or rather, his family isn't from New York before the Great Collapse, I believe they called it. His sister was actually born without the ability to use her legs, so she spent her entire life in a wheelchair.
yeah.
And I guess they were hoping that something would happen in this miracle city. They might find something that could help her regain the use of her legs.
Oh, because demons have powers. Demons can fix legs. That's a thing.
Technically, they're not demons, or at least not all of them.
Oh,
These are things that like could exist in an underground world. It's not technically demons, but it's strange. They don't really go into depth because it's not really an important plot point, I don't think.
okay. So can you give me an example of like a demon? Would the demons need parents?
No, a lot of them are implied to have been, or at least like the important ones, the 13 kings are implied to have always been in the world, just like
Oh,
in the shadows. But now that this world has crossed with the other world,
yeah.
they live in New York City because they can wield their full power there.
Oh, yeah, and then there's another population to wreak havoc on because humans are weaker than demons, right? So then they would be able to get more
Hmm.
money in the mafia.
The story of Leo's past is that his family visited, I believe, like 3 years before the main plot starts, like right after the city had the collapse. While they were there, some sort of creature a, made the two of them, him and his sister, choose which of them would get the all-seeing eyes of God and be his witness.
Okay, and that's what
So
fixes her paralysis.
no, actually, she becomes blind, and Leo has to. He takes the eyesight from her and then gives the eyes to Leo. So now she's blind and still crippled.
Wow, that's a intense family dynamic.
Yeah.
That says a lot about her. Wow, she has some strength if she's willing to give up. Like she already can't move, but like giving up another sense, like giving up your eyes. Damn, that's why he's
Yeah.
out there alone because he has to make it work because they have to take care of her.
Their parents are shown in the scene where like he's talking to her before the thing appears.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as the thing appears, they're gone, and that's pretty much the only scene they're in. So while
Yeah,
he doesn't frequently talk to his sister,
yeah.
parents are
She's
mentioned even less frequently.
yeah, but I mean the sister's like the main motivation. Like he's still yeah, she's still like his on his mind and his like super motivations, but not in like what's in front of him. That makes sense. Wow, that's Studio Bones, dude. Between Full Metal Alchemist and this, dude, that's wow, that's good.
Hmm. Talking about invisible parents,
Yeah,
and since you mentioned it earlier, my hero is one of the big ones.
Izuku's mom is like there.
But also, it makes you wonder, where's his dad? I figure we'll find something weird like, oh, you and Tomura are secretly half brothers.
Seeing the role that she plays and like how supportive she is of him, and like when All Might is bowing to her, I got
Yeah,
chills when All Might bowed to fucking. Oh man, that was so. Is that happening in the anime yet? I don't know.
it is. It did happen because
Yeah,
they're
but
already living in the dorms.
that's how parents react. Like in Harry Potter, if someone who wasn't Harry Potter, like it had to be like contained in school, administrators would have to talk to parents. They would have to do all that. So seeing
Mm.
All Might apologize to her, like that's so realistic. And I think the other families had the same thing too.
Jiro's mom, the earphone
Yeah.
jack girl, not her mom, her dad, is giving Aizawa a hard time, but the other parent reveals that he was actually like super stoked that they were asking of this commitment of them. He was just like giving him a hard time because that's what he considered to be responsible.
It's like, oh, thank God to go to the dorms. I don't need to take care of my kids no more.
I don't think they showed any other parent scenes. It's only those three that I can think of.
I guess bringing up Invisible Parents with the Studio Bones show, that's a pretty good example because they don't give into that trope. Is that the parents, like, they do exist, like the relationships are brought up, like, and familial ties do matter. For next episode, there's an invisible parent in that one, so I guess I should have brought it tomorrow. But no, it's good that they lampshade that, because I think that bringing up that's the way to do it. You bring up the parents, they exist, the relationships matter. It's not like Izuku's mom is integral to the plot, like, but she's there. That's a good way to do it.
As a counterexample to, or rather, not a counterexample, but there was another show I watched recently, Clanad, based off the visual novel. And the way the main character's parents are in that is, I believe the mother is dead. The father became an alcoholic who is addicted to gambling and stuff.
Damn.
So you see his father every few episodes, but
And he's like
always
drunk
like
and stumbling in.
he's the father isn't abusive or anything. In fact, whenever he's talking about his son, he always wants to be supportive.
Oh,
But you
wait.
can also tell that like the son isn't happy about the way that he's living, that his father's living his life.
That's so
And he's always like,
realistic. That's so good.
yeah, he always tries to spend like as much time out of the house as possible because he's disappointed in his father, I guess.
That's good. That is good. That's good writing. The tie with, what's his name? Lelouch? That's his name, right?
Kogias, right?
Oh, fuck. Kogias. I'm talking about Clayman. What's this guy's name?
He's Tomoya and she's Tomoyo.
Okay, so Tomoya, like,
Is the main
his relationship with his dad is like because that instructs who he is, you know, like having an alcoholic father that makes you want to keep out of the house, and even though the dad's trying his best, but he's still not great. That instructs who Tomoya is. So
yeah, and it drives a lot of his actions that fuel like what he does in interacting, and it tells you a lot about the way he's been acting for his past 2 years of high school and where he's now a third year.
oh, okay. Any last words?
Thanks for joining us. I hope you guys had a good time, and we'll stick with us as we work out the kinks in this kinky show.
Thanks for watching. This was pitching the content.
We'll maybe eventually get that on time.
Yeah, one day. Oh yeah, I tell you something. I think you'll understand when I say that something.
I'm gonna fuck yes.